Hey y'all, wanted to give you a survival food forest update, and I'm gonna take you around the different orchards. We're gonna check out what's growing on here and what we've been up to. So here's the side orchard. This is our zone 1, and you can see the pears. You can see the peaches are doing really good. We have a lot of fruit sets already. We did not get the last hard freeze like we normally get at the very end of March. I'm gonna have to thin these out because there's an enormous amount of fruit set on here. I might even, if we're gonna get some consistent rain, I might even do a little bit more pruning. I know some people, but if you look, I did a lot of pruning and you can kind of see what's going on. It's jungle action going on and it's pretty wild. The only devastating thing we had going on here that was a tragic loss was in the front over here. In this food forest, I have figs, peaches, pears, pluots, and then I have some pomegranates. I have 2 variety here. I'm still waiting to get a pomegranate. They just need to be well watered, but there's peaches set on everything, and they're developing rather nicely. The one major loss I had was there's a boar beetle, and I'm not really sure where they come from. It attacked one of my trees a couple years ago. So this was a world's best mulberry, and it was like 3 or 4 years old, and it was really kicking. It got the boar beetle, it shredded it, so I hacked it to the ground and burned it with fire. But check this out. That is new growth. So it came back from the root system. So this very well established tree will probably grow like a monster. And the boar beetle did the exact same thing to this world's best. And I hacked it to the ground and burned it with fire. And as you can see, that is all new growth. So it should come back pretty awesome. But that's what's growing on in this zone 1. And I don't know, there's probably maybe 50 trees over here. I'm gonna take you to the back. On the way to the back, I'll update you on the converted mitt lighter system. This is what's growing on up here. We got blueberries that are performing. They've already set berries on here. This is a perennial mint that I'm using for ground cover to block the noxious Texas weeds. We have strawberries that are already set on here. Strawberries are going great. I transferred out the drip system. You can see the coffee chaff that we're using here compost very quickly, so I just have to keep replenishing that. But the blueberries are going to do great this year. They're going to be on relatively constant water, 1 gallon a minute on the drippers. Then we have the companion planted comfrey, and what I do with the comfrey is I just come in here because, you know, it starts to shade my bushes, so I just come in here, go like that, and I can harvest about 30 or 40 handfuls like that, and then I feed it over there to the chickens, and they absolutely go nuts. Maybe when I'm done here, I'll show you the frenzy going on with the chickens when I throw them the comfrey. But I have to, you got to be careful when you're harvesting the comfrey. You don't want to grab any bees because right now with the pollination, there's lots of bee action. But I think I have a winning combination for the blueberries this year. And then we have a fig collection in here of my favorite varieties, and so they'll be on constant water. And I'll just have to go through here. You can see I already harvested to here, and it's already grown back where I can harvest again. I'm gonna have to take some more comfrey from here, but I can get several pounds of additional forage for the chickens. So that's an incredible supplement, and it's totally free. And in the fall, what I do is I break up the comfrey roots and transplant them out again, and just keep popping them all over the property. I had them companion planted with every tree here, but when we get a hard freeze, jacks it up pretty good. The mint's super out of control and just keeps traveling, but it is a great suppression system. I'll harvest the mint the exact same way. Just picks them up, and I could actually repot that if I wanted to, and just continue to propagate it. But I throw that to the chickens as well. But this is going to be a banner year. I think there's some fruit set. There's some Breba figs out here somewhere. I don't know if there's any I can show you. There's some here somewhere. And now we're going to go to the back. And this is the total food jungle back here. There's our mulberries. If you get the Food Forest in the box, that's the mulberry variety, and you'll see what kind of fruit is set back here. So you can see what kind of production this tree produces. And mulberries are always the first ripening, and we give any of the leftovers to the chickens. And then over here, we like all of our trees to be stylish. We're very concerned with like modern trends. So I'm giving this tree highlights. No, this tree is called a Palmetto hybrid, and it's one of my best trees, but unfortunately this tree requires the fig wasp for pollination so that the fruit actually, because this will set fruit, but then the fruit drops, it doesn't mature. So what I'm doing here is I've grafted Nero 600 and Green Isha onto this tree with a bud graft technique. And if you check that out, so I took that bud off of a Nero, no, this is a Nero or a Green Isha, but I took that bud, let me get in focus. I took that bud off of a different tree and I put it on here. And then what you do is you take all the existing buds off of this tree and you cut them off. And what that'll do is that'll promote growth to all your new growth areas. So it'll promote growth to these new buds. And now, if I keep these properly protected until they're stable, this non-setting fig tree will now have a couple different varieties, and I can continue to add varieties to this. But so far, that grafting is going very well because I'm already seeing activity. I grafted that on 4/1, and I don't know, what's today, the 9th? So 8 days, we already are seeing a little bit of new growth. So far so good. Tamapan persimmon, that's always a massive producer. If you've never had an Asian persimmon, it's spectacular. Got a couple apples in here. We had a decent number of apples last year. Got some more mulberries. We got our Texas white peach. This is a local variety gifted to us by a dear friend that has now passed away. So when I always eat from this tree, I think of Mr. Larry. This tree always does awesome. Lots of fruit set. It's a cling free, it's absolutely delicious. Pawpaw, I think this is a Susquehanna, so this is a grafted variety. This thing's been in the ground for like 5 or 6 years. Very slow growing. We're growing it in dappled light. I got another pawpaw. Over here we're growing some young men that are the next great leaders of the country. and they grow very well on clover. So you can see there that they're growing well and the clover's growing well. They're getting in some grounding over there. So love and life. That's the way kids should grow, y'all. They should grow up with their feet in the dirt. All right, so ForrestNursery.com update. They sent me some trees and they send some great mature trees. This is a Einshimmer apple. So this is its second year, doing great. And this year, just a couple months ago, I ordered some more pecan trees. And so this comes from Food Forest Nursery. It's already established. It's taken off. And that's Durango. Hi, Durango. How you doing, buddy? So we got Elliott pecan. We got an Oconee. So this was just planted, what, 3 or 4 months ago? You doing, boy? 3 or 4 months ago. Just getting ready to take off. We had some bagworms on my native plum tree there. That's why it's looking sad, because I had to put the torch to it to teach the bagworms a lesson. And that's all dewberries. So there'll be lots of dewberries in there, which is like a thorn ground blackberry. Very good stuff. Then this is a native pear right here that still hasn't fruited, and it's absolutely enormous. It needs to be heavily pruned. But it just hasn't produced. Maybe just needs to be pruned. And this is our reclamation water, where we're recovering our gray water. So a little kind of like a retaining pond. And that's why it looks like a swamp. Planted some new varieties. There's another, had a world's best. So when those ones over there in zone 1 got smoked, I planted another world's best here in the back. We have about 12 different varieties of mulberry. There's a Silk Hope. See how that one's going to do this year. That is a Madava mulberry. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then we got a Choctaw pecan, foodforestnursery.com. Check the link below for 10% off. Very high quality. Local people here in, I think they're in Arkansas. And then here's the last one that's just getting ready to break bud. And that's a Caddo pecan. So we have 4 pecan varieties. And then that is a Silk Hope. And then that one is, that's another variety, mulberry. That's a Jan's Best. Over here, this is a Chinese mulberry, Chiang Mai 60 or Chiang Mai 90 or something like that. And you can see it definitely must have got hit by the cold or something, but it is coming back. That is a giant mulberry. That tree was smoked by borer beetles 2 years ago, hacked it off. And so that's 1 year's worth of growth there. And that's why they call it the giant mulberry. Got some more very well established figs back here. That is a Valdosta from Valdosta, Georgia. So all my Georgia peeps, shout out to Valdosta, Georgia. It has already set fruit. And then that monster right there is a White Beauty mulberry. If you've never had a White Beauty mulberry, it literally tastes like a cantaloupe. Heavy producer. Upon maturity, if you prune it after you harvest, it will fruit again. Most mulberries will do that. Then we have a Lena Lang. We have some jujube, or jujube, however you want to say that. So we got a Lean the Lang companion planted very close together here. They do have thorns, so that's not always fun. This is an emerald strawberry fig, heavy producer, very large fig, awesome flavor spectrum. LSU purple always does great. LSU tiger. In my collection over in the mitt lighter system, I have several LSU varieties over there. Hollier, Jack Lily, and that's Red River. He's a red bourbon Tom. Red River, sing us a song. Red River, Red River. Give me Red River. Gobble, 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 gobble. Come on, man. But he likes to hang out back here in the food forest. All right, Red River. So that is the survival food forest update. It's quite jungly back here, but it's a beautiful day in the great Republic of Texas. I wanted to give you all an update. Hope the wind's not too bad. Hope the sound's okay. Love y'all. We'll see you on the next video. Hey y'all, go to TheTexasBoys.com. Check out what we got growing on over there. And we have a new tallow skincare line with a ridiculously awesome tallow deodorant stick. You gotta check it out, highly recommended. Matt's wife is making those beautiful creations. So hope you enjoy the video. We'll see you next time.